I'm your host, Peter Vrionis, back with another episode of the Press Box Hat Trick. And today I'm joined by a couple of football stingers in Jeremy Murphy and Jaylan Greaves. Sorry, my bad. Yo, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. We got to talk about your great start to this season. So thanks again for being here.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for the invite. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been covering you guys throughout the whole year. I've been at all of your games. The one thing that I've noticed with you guys, with this group, is the chemistry is off the charts. So one of you guys started off. Tell me what's different about this team.
Well, I'll answer that one because I was here like in my first season, which was 2 years ago. Like this year, the different vibe is just that we're all helping each other out, and we're not trying to make individual plays. We're all trying to make a play that'll impact the whole team and win the game. And whatever the score is, like most people saw, it could be down by 20, 17, or 10 with like 8 minutes to go. We're still going to keep going. And we just feed off each other's energy at this point. And I think that's what really helps us make more and more plays because one guy does a touchdown, everyone goes crazy. One guy does a great catch, we go crazy. Running back has a big run, we all go crazy. And we just keep using that. And the whole drive is just us looking like we're unstoppable because we're just piling off everyone's energy and we're just going and going and going. Compared to my first year where it was like there wasn't a vibe, there was no juice, there was nothing. It was like, oh, you did a big play. It was like, good job, on to the next one. Yeah, exactly. It's like whatever. This year, just a big play makes it a whole difference.
Yeah, you guys are special. You guys are special for sure. It's a fun group to watch. Must see. It's a must-see group for sure. What do you think, Jaylan, about the chemistry?
Well, based off what I hear from the past years, again, it's just like we're all in it together. We don't care about individual stats. We like at the end of the day, like me coming in as a young guy on the team, like I was kind of hungry for the stats and everything. But after that first week, second week, like everything was just to win. You know what I'm saying? Like I had one reception, but we won. So I could care less who got the touchdown, how many yards, how many receptions, how many targets and all that, because it just came naturally, right? That's all I can really ask for is the game coming naturally.
Yeah, well, that's the sign of a good team when everybody buys into a culture. And Brad's got you guys playing hard. Like I saw some people leaving in the fourth quarter of the McGill game, and I was telling them, I'm like, y'all are making a mistake. Y'all are making a mistake leaving this early. And they did. You guys came back from 22 point deficit.
Exactly.
It was wild.
We're super explosive. Yeah. Our receiving core is super young. We're all really, really good playmakers. Like,
and we're hungry.
Yeah, we're hungry. No one in this league wants the ball more than we want it. Like if it's up in the air, I don't care who's going to be there. They're not getting it.
Yeah, even Jake went up and got one. That should tell you something right there.
We all have something on our, we also have something on our heart, bro. Like
we all bring something different to the table.
Yeah, exactly. We all want to prove something to someone like in our lives, and that's why we do it every day. Like we all have our different reasons, but like every one of us is coming from a different background, and we all have that to prove to people who have doubted us in the past. And like, especially for me, that's what fuels me.
For sure. So I was at the McGill game. Obviously, I was there with my baseball buddies, like all the guys from the baseball team, and they were all sauced. I couldn't be though because I had to remain professional. But every 3 minutes, I'm not even kidding. One of my buddies, he would turn to me. He's like, "Dude, I love 85. He's fired up. I fucking love this guy." And literally, he told me that about probably 15 times throughout the game, and that's just the type of energy that you're giving off to this team. Maybe that's what was missing in 2019. A guy like Jaylan,
We didn't have a guy with a big mouth like that. Like sometimes you're like in meetings and you're like, just let coach talk. But you're on the field and he's screaming, he's talking, and you're like, let him have it. You know what? Let him have it. That's fine.
Like I was talking to one of your backup quarterbacks, like just on campus, like that, Caleb, I think. And he was saying, Jaylan's on his way to go work out. I'm like, doesn't he work out enough with his mouth? And he's like, all the time. Dude doesn't shut up. But you need a guy like that on the team. You you need that guy to get everybody fired up because you guys were down 20. The sideline was a little bit flat. And then Jaylan standing up on the bench and rallying the Concordia fans. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, and then just him cheering the people up in the crowd, cheered us on. So like he was giving him energy, and then they were giving us the energy.
Yeah.
We need somebody like this, and we didn't have this like 2 years ago.
Now you got it. So what'd you guys think of the Concordia crowd, the Concordia contingent at the McGill Stadium?
Oof. Well, again, coming from junior football, we didn't really have crowds like this where you have to go buy your tickets. You can just show up, pay the entry fee. So, like, to see the amount of Concordia fans that we had there was insane. Like, throughout the whole week, I said, like, we need to make this a home game, whether it's mentally or physically. Like, we need to make it a home game. And sure enough, it was quiet in the first half, but I knew our people were there. All we need to do was start making some plays. And sure enough, they came out and we put on a show.
You definitely did. And by the way, they're not giving those tickets away. They're $20 a pop.
Yeah, I heard. So, I heard.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Look, I got in there for free. I had a media pass.
Yeah.
But damn, like it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap.
Mad respect for everyone who showed up.
Yeah.
Really.
Like, I didn't expect that many people. Like I said, I played the first season. And like when you go on the road, the parents show up.
Couple girlfriends.
Maybe the girlfriends show up. Yeah, but like. We didn't like even at our home game. You don't see the other sports team. Like we couldn't recognize the other sports team there because they weren't like everyone's at the same level because you're at home, right? Everyone's cheering for Concordia.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the road. If you have Concordia fans, you're gonna know them because they're screaming when McGill's on offense. Because no one screams when McGill's on offense. And you turn around, you got this whole crowd standing up, screaming, throwing out insults, and you're like, "What's going on?" And usually when you walk back to your bench, like at McGill, you get insulted because you're at McGill. Yeah, and you're like, whatever. But now they're like, they're cheering you up. They're trying to make you like smile or something. And you're like, hey, I like this. So yeah, that was honestly like probably my favorite game that I've played at university. The energy was absolutely insane. Absolutely. It was crazy.
I mean, it was a vibe. It was a vibe for sure.
Everyone stayed after the game. Yep. It was like a party.
Yep.
We had to.
We were like, yo, these guys are like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now I want to ask you guys about your quarterback, Olivier Roy. Yeah. I've been saying this for 2 weeks now. The guy's a star. Okay, shouldn't even be a debate. And I was telling my boys, I'm like, yo, this quarterback, he's a stud. You got to watch out for him. The first 3 quarters went by. They're like, yo, this guy's not a star. Like, come on now. And then he ran it in for the 2-point conversion. My boy turned to me and said, yeah, he's a fucking star. And it's true. Like, what has it been like to play for a guy like that?
Well, he's all about business. You know what I'm saying? He might not talk much, but when he speaks to you, then it's something serious, He's cool, composed always. There's not a moment in time where I can't lean on him. And as to what your friend said, your buddy, it's a team game, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't play 12 men for the first 3 quarters. We were playing individual. We had mistakes, we had busts as every team, but we cleaned up in the 4th, and he capped it off. He's a stone cold man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I played like last year with Olivier, so like I know him a little more, and I play with Adam, which is a completely different vibe, So Olivier, he just works really, really hard because he comes from like me. I'm a D3 kid. He's a D3 kid. No one knows about him, so he works really, really hard. And then like on the field, he just turns on like he's a robot. It's automatic, and like there's not a single play in any game, whatever the score, I won't doubt what he does. He could throw the ball in triple coverage, whether it was a pick or a catch or incomplete, like it was the right decision. Like he knew, like whatever he's gonna do, I'm gonna trust him, and like that's what we need as receivers with our quarterback. Like there's no one on that field I trust more than Oliver, offense or defense, and he leads us to victory.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable the past couple weeks. And the protection in the first half was not the greatest. he had to scramble a ton. And there was one play that stuck out to me. It was an incomplete pass, but I think you know what I'm talking about. The one where he scrambled around for like 10, 15 yards, threw it on the sideline. That was a pro level play, and it was very impressive. So you could tell he's been working. You could tell he's fully locked in, and I can't believe nobody recruited this guy.
Like Jaylan said, he's always cool. Like we always say, like he's got ice in his veins, and like that. We're not even kidding. Like
it's not
nothing phases him. Nothing phases him. It's the 2-point play. We always have one play that we practice every week for this, right? And so we didn't use it against Montreal, so we kept it. So he has the option to either throw it or run it, and it's either going to me or Jaylan.
Yeah.
That's the way the play is designed. So when I saw my guy line up, I knew I wasn't getting the ball because of how far he was. I was like, okay, so he's either going elsewhere or he's going to take off because he has the option to run. When I turned around, I saw him run. I had my hands up in the air. I knew it was game. So and then when we scored, I knew it was over for them.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. They're done. Like even if we don't get the ball first, they're done.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, they lost.
Yeah, it was so hype. It was so, like he called his own number, ran it.
Yeah.
It's like I was a 10-year-old kid watching the Dallas Cowboys play, you know?
Yeah, made me think of like John Elway diving for the end zone, spinning in circles.
That's the kind of stuff we live for.
Yeah. And that gives us so much energy. Like after if our quarterback's taking those hits to win to tie a regular season game, I'm ready to do anything for this guy at this point. Yeah, I don't care how much. I'll do anything.
You're not losing at that point. That's for sure.
No, there's nothing you can do to make us lose if he's doing that.
Yeah, and obviously you guys mounted another comeback, but I guess that's something that you guys want to try to avoid going forward, right? Having to play from behind all the time. How do you plan on getting off to a better start against Sherbrooke this Saturday?
It all starts with practice. Our big word of emphasis this week was day one of practice. We got to start hot, you know. And in my opinion, I think we really did. We started off really, really strong this week. And like since when you're a kid, you always hear, you practice how you play, or whatever you do in a practice, you'll do the exact same thing in a game, right? So us putting all that effort, all that energy into practice, we're going to transition that right to the game the second the ball is kicked off. And like right now we're doing good. The last thing we want to do is to make everyone think, they were just lucky.
Yeah.
Now we got to keep going on our roll. We don't care about number 10. We don't care about number 1. At the end of the line, we just want to go to the cup at the end and win that. But people are still doubting us after what we did. Laval beat them by 30. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then we went to Montreal, beat them. Went to McGill, beat them. Came back. And now we're going to prove everybody that we can win from the get-go. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to just right from the kickoff, dominate, make it a nice football game, have fun.
Homecoming.
Exactly, homecoming. People are going to enjoy the game. Yep. And we're going to keep going every week like that.
Yeah, I'm missing a baseball game to come cover that, so you guys better put on a show, yo.
Definitely.
You better. We're playing against McGill, too.
Oh,
yo.
You're going to have to follow that on your phone or something. I mean,
it's an exhibition, though. It's an exhibition. So.
It's an exhibition, then. You know. This is an exhibition. This is a homecoming, you know?
If y'all were 0-3, then maybe I'd like, okay, wow. I'm going to have to go play, but, yo, this is important. This is a very important game. And that was actually going to be my next question to you guys. You saw the rankings come out. You were 10th. That's fucking disrespectful. Very disrespectful. After 2 signature wins. But obviously, you guys don't really care about that. You're not buying much into that. So it's clear, like you settled that. You don't really care about it, but you must feel some type of way like you're not getting any respect except for your own corner, basically. Only Concordians are believing the hype. You know, what do you make of that?
We don't really care about the respect. We didn't have respect on day one. Yeah. We didn't have respect on Montreal. Nobody gave us respect after we beat Montreal. People were like, maybe it was a fluke. Yeah. They said maybe it was a fluke. They didn't even believe that we actually won the game. And if you look at the numbers, like we had a really good game. And McGill, if it wasn't for our turnovers, that game was nowhere close. Like they only have 12 first downs. Like our team, like we've proven that we can play with anybody in this conference. Unfortunately, the way that it works in Canada, you can't play against Ontario or the Western Conference. But like the top 10, who cares about top 10? Because at the end of the day, you want to finish number one holding that trophy.
Well, you can play against other conferences. You can.
Well, that's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But right now, we're focusing on our own conference.
Yeah, and
once we get to the playoffs, we probably got to play Laval. We probably got to play Montreal again. So that's what we're focusing on right now. When we get to that point, then we'll play the other conferences. But right now, we're just focusing on a week-by-week status, day by day, making sure we get better every time.
Yeah, that's definitely the right approach. What do you think about it, Jaylan?
The rankings, I feel like, are just white noise. You know what I'm saying? Like Murphy said, we haven't got respect week 1 or week 2 or week 3. So I definitely don't want it week 4, you know, when we're going to turn heads. But like it does, I'd be lying if it said it didn't fuel me at least, you know, because it is disrespectful because there's some teams up there that have me scratching. But again, we're just here to prove ourselves, to fight, keep on pushing. And, you know, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be on the top of that ranking.
Yeah.
Keep playing the way you are, and I don't see why not. I mean, why don't you go win the first Vanier Cup in Concordia history? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go, man. Aim high. You guys can do it. Yeah. You guys got to keep going, man. It's really been entertaining, and you're actually first place right now, so it must feel pretty good.
It feels all right.
Yeah, it does, but it's the same thing as the top 10 ranking in U Sports. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna remember you for finishing first after week 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's true.
They're only gonna remember you if you finished first December 4th in Laval this year in Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's gonna matter. Whoever's holding that trophy, they won't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
And so do we. We don't care if we don't make, like, this season's gonna be meaningless if we don't win a playoff game. If we don't have a playoff game here, that's what we want. We haven't had this in so long. It's always Laval and Montreal. We want a game here. We want to win, and we want to win the second game, and we want to go out in the Maritimes. Like, we want to do stuff that hasn't been done here in a very long time. And until we accomplish those things, we don't care.
Mm-hmm. It's a short season. It's an 8-game season, and each and every win brings you closer to a playoff spot. So I know, like you said, you're going on a week-by-week basis, but you guys are close. You guys are right there. So has the focus stayed the same, or are you guys starting to think a bit loftier than you may have thought at the start of the season?
I feel like we've been hungrier than before, just because like we got a taste of this. Like again, Murphy was here 2 years ago, and it wasn't the best of seasons. Like there was a lot of stats, but again, then at the end of the day, is to win games, and we're on a roll of doing that this year. You know, so it's a good culture change, and everybody's just getting to the same goal. You know, everybody's hungry. So a lot of people were on the team 2 years ago, and they haven't felt this way before. So it's just good to see everybody, you know, on the same page, hungry to get some wins and get to the value.
Yeah, like for me, like you were asking, like, about the other games. Are you thinking about further ahead? The only game that I'm thinking about that's in the future is the Laval game, because I didn't play. I was out. We had a tough game, and it's in Laval now. So we've beaten Montreal at Montreal. Mm-hmm. We've beaten McGill at McGill. Mm-hmm. My first year, we beat Sherbrooke at Sherbrooke. So I just want to beat Laval at Laval. And no one's done that in a little while except for Montreal. And that, to me, would be a big statement. Yeah. Like, nobody goes over there between McGill, Sherbrooke, and Concordia in the past several years to beat them. And they came here, they put their foot right up our ass, and they kicked us right back to the locker room. We had nothing to do about it. We got whooped straight up. And then everybody counted us out. Now we're going to win. We won. And to me, that's the most exciting game for me. Like, I just want to go back to Laval on the road, beat them, make everybody shut up, and then look at the next game.
Well, on Laval, speaking of Laval, they look a lot more vulnerable than they have in the past. Like, they've played a lot closer games. They've lost 2 games as well, which is unheard of, especially in the past decade. So I think there's a lot more like competition. There's a lot more parity in the RSCQ this year, for whatever reason. I mean, you guys look like you're, yeah,
100%. Everyone's younger.
yeah,
We look at the rosters every day because it's who we're gonna match up against. Everyone's a first or second year, and technically, if you're a second year, you're still the first year. You didn't play last year. So if you look at our offense, myself, Jacob, and Vince, we've played. Jaylan, Tristan, Olivier Roy, most of the running backs, most of the O-line haven't played. It's the same thing for other teams. And I think our best position is receivers, even if these guys haven't played a game. And I don't think most of this conference can run with us because we have these.
5 deep.
Yeah, exactly. We're even more than 5 deep. Like, if someone goes down, I'm not worried. Someone's going to pick up the slack and make the same plays that everybody else makes. And we have these vets like Salvai and Vince to feed us. Vince is a 6th year coming back because of COVID from a pro camp. Salvai is in his 4th year. And these guys are just teachers for the younger guys. I still consider myself a young guy. Even though these younger guys look up to me, I'm still a young guy. I only played 1 season technically, so I don't consider myself a vet at all.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Jaylan before we started recording, and I was saying you guys have a really beefed up receiving core. It's unbelievable. Like you guys said, you're 5 deep. You guys have weapons all over the field. So that must make Ollie's job a much easier job. You know, like he gets a lot of the credit. Of course, he's a quarterback and he's throwing 4 TDs every week, and you know he's going to get a lot of the hype, but you know, your guys' route running has been impeccable in both of your wins. You guys are hustling, you guys are making plays, you're going up and getting that ball, and like you said, you're hungrier than each and every team that you've played. So it's not a shock to me why you guys are winning, but keep playing that way and you're going to get your respect. You're going to get that respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
If you care about it, of course.
I don't care about me personally. I don't care about respect right now. Once we win December 4th, I think it is, then you can respect me. Then you can say congratulations. Till then, I don't care.
Sounds good, man. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. But it was great, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Thank you. We'll do this again. We'll do this again on December 4th for sure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure. I'm marking that date down. You guys better do it too.
Come to the party.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. I'll be there. I'll be there on the field with you guys. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Good to see you.